Hi everybody, it's Anthony here, and we're about to embark on a journey, a visual adventure if you will, to the top 10 most incredible mountains in the United States. We're talking about those colossal, awe-inspiring giants that pierce the sky, each with a story to tell, a challenge to offer, and a beauty that'll stop you dead in your tracks. From the icy peaks of Alaska to the rugged ranges of the lower 48, this list is jam-packed with natural wonders. Whether you're an experienced climber, a weekend hiker, or just someone who appreciates breathtaking landscapes, trust me, you're going to want to see this. This is more than just a top 10 list. It's an invitation to explore, to get out there and experience the raw, untamed beauty of these mountains for yourself. So strap in, grab your gear, because we're diving headfirst into the heart of America's most stunning peaks. Let's do it! First up, we're heading straight to the last frontier, Alaska, home to Denali, the undisputed king of North American peaks. Towering over 20,000 feet above sea level, this beast, formerly known as Mount McKinley, isn't just a mountain, it's an icon. Imagine standing at the base, craning your neck to catch a glimpse of the summit, the sheer magnitude of it all hitting you like a ton of bricks. This isn't just a hike, it's an expedition, a test of human endurance against some of the most extreme conditions on the planet. We're talking hurricane-force winds, sub-zero temperatures, and the ever-present threat of altitude sickness. This is a mountain that demands respect, that pushes climbers to their absolute limits. But for those brave enough to make the ascent, the reward is like nothing else on Earth. From the summit, you're greeted with a panoramic view that stretches on forever, a sea of jagged peaks stretching as far as the eye can see. But Denali is more than just a mountain, it's a sacred place, deeply intertwined with the culture and history of the indigenous people of Alaska. For centuries, they've revered this mountain, their lives intricately connected to its rhythms and its power. And that's something I really respect, that deep connection between nature and culture. It's a reminder that these places are more than just pretty pictures, they hold real significance, a story that goes back generations. So yeah, Denali is a giant, a test of human spirit, but it's also a place of profound beauty and cultural significance. It's a reminder of the power of nature, the resilience of the human spirit, and the importance of preserving these landscapes for generations to come. Alright, so we've conquered the Alaskan giant. Now let's head south to the Golden State, California, home to Mount Whitney, the highest peak in the contiguous United States. This majestic peak, clocking in at a cool 14,505 feet, dominates the skyline of the Sierra Nevada range, a beacon for hikers and adventurers alike. Now, I know what you're thinking, 14,505 feet? That's child's play compared to Denali. And you're not wrong, but don't let the numbers fool you, Mount Whitney is no walk in the park. We're talking steep inclines, rocky terrain, and that ever-thinning air that makes every step a lung buster. But the challenge is part of the appeal, right? It's about pushing your limits, testing your endurance, and proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought possible. And trust me, when you finally reach that summit, catch your breath and take in that view. It's all worth it. We're talking panoramic vistas of the Sierra Nevada stretching out before you, jagged peaks piercing the clouds, alpine lakes shimmering in the distance. It's a scene straight out of a postcard, a view that'll stay etched in your memory long after you've descended back to reality. And the best part? Unlike Denali, which requires a serious expedition-level commitment, Mount Whitney is accessible to a wider range of adventurers. There's a permit system in place to manage the crowds, but with a little planning and preparation, you can stand on top of the contiguous U.S. But don't let the accessibility fool you. This is still a serious undertaking, and safety should always be your #1 priority. Make sure you're properly equipped, acclimatized to the altitude, and prepared for any weather conditions Mother Nature throws your way. All right, that's Mount Whitney, a true icon of the Sierra Nevada and a must-do for any avid hiker or mountain enthusiast. All right, we're moving down the list to number 3, and guys, trust me, this mountain is a beast. I'm talking about Mount Rainier, sitting pretty in Washington State. This isn't just some pretty face, though. Rainier is the most glaciated peak in the contiguous U.S. It means rivers, waterfalls, the whole 9 yards. See, this mountain is an active volcano, It's a humbling experience, standing in the shadow of something so massive and powerful. What can you actually do at Mount Rainier? The possibilities are endless. First off, hiking, over 260 miles of maintained trails, from leisurely strolls to hardcore climbs. Camp out under the stars, wake up to a sunrise over the glaciers. Try summiting the peak, just be prepared. Even if you're not an outdoorsman, there's plenty to do. Take a scenic drive, visit the historic Paradise Inn, or soak in the views. Mount Rainier is an experience that will stay with you. It's a place of immense beauty and adventure. Visit if you can, you won't regret it. We're heading to Colorado for number 4 on our list, where Mount Elbert stands tall, literally. It's the highest peak in the Rockies at over 14,000 feet. And when you're on the summit, it feels like you can see the entire world. Elbert is known for being a relatively accessible 14er. With preparation and determination, you can make it to the top. Now, there are a few different ways to tackle Mount Elbert, each with its own unique challenges and rewards. You've got the standard route, which is the most popular, but then you've also got some more technical climbs for the adrenaline junkies out there. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of conquering a tough climb, pushing yourself to the limit and coming out on top. It's exhilarating, it's humbling, it's what life's all about. But even if you're not into the whole climbing thing, the area around Elbert is a hiker's paradise. You've got pristine alpine lakes, dense forests, and of course those jaw-dropping mountain views. You can spend days exploring this area and still feel like you've only scratched the surface. And that's the beauty of it, you know? There's always something new to discover, always another adventure waiting around the bend. All right, moving on to number 5, we're heading to Oregon, the land of craft beer, indie music, and, you guessed it, epic mountains. And when it comes to epic, Mount Hood takes the cake. This majestic peak, rising high above the surrounding landscape, is basically a postcard come to life. This stratovolcano, and yeah, I said volcano, is a force to be reckoned with. It's like this silent giant watching over the land, a constant reminder of the raw, untamed beauty of the Pacific Northwest. What can you do at Mount Hood? Hiking, of course, hundreds of miles of trails, or try summiting the peak. Be prepared, it's tough. The views are worth it. Not into hiking? Go camping, fishing, mountain biking, or skiing in winter. Mount Hood has something for everyone. All right, we're more than halfway through this list, and let me tell you, the views just keep getting more epic. Next up, we're heading to Wyoming, a state that's practically synonymous with breathtaking landscapes. And rising out of the valley floor like a shark fin, we have the Grand Teton. This isn't just a mountain, it's a statement, a jagged, awe-inspiring statement that dominates the skyline. The Grand Teton stands tall at 13,775 feet. You know, sometimes I look at mountains like this and I'm just like humbled by nature, you know? They haven't been worn down by time, so they just shoot straight up, creating these incredible vertical walls and sharp-pointed summits. But even if you're not into risking your neck scaling sheer rock faces, the Grand Teton National Park has something for everyone. Now, I'm all about exploring cities, the hustle and bustle, the energy, but there's something to be said about disconnecting and immersing yourself in nature, and the Grand Tetons, this is the place to do it. Close your eyes for a second and just imagine this. You're waking up at sunrise, the first rays of light hitting those snow-capped peaks, the crisp mountain air filling your lungs. It's the kind of experience that stays with you long after you've left. And listen, it's not just about the views, although they're pretty damn spectacular. The Grand Teton National Park is teeming with wildlife. We're talking grizzly bears, elk, moose, bald eagles. It's like stepping into a National Geographic documentary. So whether you're an adrenaline junkie looking for your next climb or just someone who appreciates the raw power and beauty of nature, add the Grand Teton to your bucket list. All right, let's be real. When you think of California, you probably think beaches, Hollywood, maybe even Silicon Valley, right? But mountains? Yeah, California's got those too, and they're not messing around. Case in point, Mount Shasta, this massive volcano, dominates the landscape of Northern California, rising up over 14,000 feet. That's taller than the Empire State Building stacked on top of itself 4 times. Now I know what you're thinking. Volcano? As in erupts with molten lava volcano? Yeah, about that. Mount Shasta is considered an active volcano, meaning it's erupted in the past and could erupt again. But hey, don't let that scare you off. The last eruption was over 200 years ago. But even if it's been a while since Mount Shasta blew its top, this mountain is still a force to be reckoned with. It's a place of immense energy, shrouded in myths and legends, and some say even a little bit of mystery. You see, Mount Shasta isn't just a geographical wonder, it's a cultural icon too. Native American tribes have long considered this mountain sacred, a place of spiritual power and deep connection to the earth. And over the years, it's attracted all sorts of folks drawn to its mystical aura. We're talking about everything from spiritual seekers and New Age enthusiasts to hikers, climbers, and nature lovers. And honestly, I get it. There's just something about Mount Shasta that pulls you in, makes you want to explore its mysteries. And if you're into the great outdoors, Mount Shasta won't disappoint. We're talking about miles of hiking trails, pristine alpine lakes, cascading waterfalls. You can camp under the stars, breathe in that fresh mountain air, and just disconnect from the noise of everyday life. So, whether you're drawn to its spiritual significance, its volcanic power, or just the sheer beauty of the place, Mount Shasta is an experience you won't soon forget. We're heading east to the Appalachian Mountains. These mountains hold a special kind of beauty. At the heart of it all stands Mount Mitchell, the highest peak in the eastern United States at 6,684 feet. The vista from the top is something else, and it's accessible to pretty much everyone. But Mount Mitchell is more than just a pretty view. It's a place steeped in history, shaped by the forces of nature and the footsteps of those who came before us. You see, the Appalachian Mountains are some of the oldest mountains in the world, and they've seen a lot. Native American tribes were the first to call this land home, and their presence is still felt today in the names of the mountains and rivers. Later, European settlers arrived, shaping the landscape with their farms and settlements. And today, Mount Mitchell stands as a testament to the enduring power of nature. Despite the impact of humans, the mountain remains a wild and beautiful place, home to diverse ecosystems and abundant wildlife. So, if you're looking for a mountain experience that's a little different, a little less about adrenaline and a little more about history and breathtaking scenery, then put Mount Mitchell on your list. You won't be disappointed. All right, folks, buckle up because we're heading to Washington State to visit a mountain that once literally blew its top, Mount St. Helens. We're talking about a force of nature that reshaped the landscape back in 1980. The eruption was massive, the deadliest and most economically destructive volcanic event in U.S. history. The ash cloud circled the entire globe. It was a stark reminder of the raw power nature has over us. It's actually pretty incredible when you think about it. After the eruption, everything was covered in ash, right? Like a blank slate, a gray wasteland. But slowly, life began to reappear. Plants started to grow again, animals returned. First came the pioneers, the hardy species that could handle the harsh conditions. Then, as the soil stabilized and the ecosystem began to recover, more and more species came back. It's this cycle of destruction and renewal that makes places like Mount St. Helens so fascinating. Today, Mount St. Helens is a captivating mix of beauty and raw power. You can see the scars of the eruption, the reminders of that incredible release of energy. But you can also see how nature has bounced back, how life has found a way to thrive in the face of adversity. It's a powerful reminder that even after the most devastating events, there's always hope. All right, we're heading east now, to the rugged state of Maine, home to Mount Katahdin, a mountain that holds a special place in the hearts of hikers. It's the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, a 2,200-mile journey from Georgia. Reaching Katahdin's summit is the culmination of months of sweat and toil. It's about overcoming a challenge and proving your limits. But listen, even if you're not a hardcore hiker, even if the thought of trekking through the wilderness for months on end makes your feet ache, Mount Katahdin is still worth a visit. The beauty of Katahdin is undeniable, from its rugged peaks and pristine lakes to its dense forests and cascading waterfalls. It's a place where you can disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and reconnect with nature. Lace up your hiking boots, breathe in the fresh mountain air, and lose yourself in the tranquility of the wilderness. And hey, if you're feeling adventurous, you can always hike to the summit. You don't have to hike the entire AT to appreciate the view from the top. There are shorter trails that offer equally breathtaking vistas. So, whether you're an experienced hiker or a weekend warrior, make sure Mount Katahdin is on your bucket list. Trust me, it's an experience you won't forget. And there you have it, folks. The top 10 most amazing mountains in the USA. From the towering heights of Denali to the rugged beauty of Mount Katahdin, these mountains offer something for everyone, whether you're an adrenaline junkie or a nature enthusiast. But hey, this is just my take. What do you guys think? What are your favorite mountains in the US? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe, just maybe, I'll feature them in a future video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more travel guides. Until next time, keep exploring.